Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You are here with Austin from Ohio, and today is Sunday, the 4th of July in the year 2021. As you could see, I'm going to try to do this on my phone because the computer, of course, now is screwing up. I don't know what's going on with it. I am beyond thinking that it is just my phone or just my computer or just my internet. I don't think that it has anything to do with that anymore. Maybe at first it did, but everything else is good. I can go watch television. I can watch videos all day long. I could probably honestly make a video talking about something stupid and it won't get messed with. But of course, whenever I go to bring up some real stuff, that's when it starts getting rough. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully you guys are watching this. Today is the day that we reflect on freedom. And we remember those who put it all on the line all those years ago, 245 years ago, to not only preserve and fight for freedom for themselves, but they even made sure to spell it all out for those who came after them so that we would know how to keep it and what it means, truly what it means. And every single day, especially the last couple days, I see that people don't really know what it means. For example, a person that I know, went to school with, posted on social media some fireworks and said, "Happy 4th of July. Thank you for our freedom." And I'm thinking, thank you for our freedom. Who are you thanking? You should want to be thanking God. But freedom is something that already exists inside of you. It has nothing to do with somebody giving it to you. And people would say, oh, the soldiers, they give us our freedom. No, not true. The military is supposed to fight to preserve our freedom against any enemy, foreign and domestic. But they haven't done that for decades now, have they? Maybe even longer. They fight purely for the interest of the ruling party and the powers that be. So, there's that. I hope everyone's keeping their eyes peeled because this first article here that I brought up was put up 3 hours ago, and there's a reason for it. I firmly believe that this is all leading up to Cyber Polygon and something big coming in the very near future. Might not be this month, might not be in August, but I'm thinking that if they're going to pull something, it's either going to be, it's going to be between now and September or October, because, a lot of bad things historically happen in October. We just don't know that yet, but we do know that they are starting on some things and getting some things cooked up. Like, for instance, this first one from the Jerusalem Post. July 4th ransomware attack may be the largest ever. Expert. Okay, there's that word again, expert. What expert? Who is it? What's his credibility? Who does he work for? What agenda does he have? These are the questions that we should be asking about these so-called experts. I told you about the time that I saw on NBC, they were talking about the situation. This was like around the time it first started. And I remember walking past the TV and seeing this guy on there talking about asymptomatic carriers and all this stuff, and he was an expert. So I went ahead and looked this expert up. Turns out, he's a paleontologist. Yeah, a paleontologist. Somebody who works with bones. Come on. We'll be lucky to get this guy's name. Let's get into it. This attack is different from the SolarWinds attack, which exposed sensitive data from government offices and thousands of private companies in what is possibly the largest security breach ever. Okay. Oh, here we go. Of course, Gotta point the finger at somebody, right? A ransomware attack by the Russian-based REvil gang on the eve of July 4th U.S. holiday weekend may end up being even larger than the recent SolarWinds hack, an Israeli cybersecurity expert told the Jerusalem Post. Okay, well, what's this guy's name? What's his name? Of course, we probably won't get that, right? The supply chain attack on IT management software provider Kasia, or Casia, whatever, has been underreported in the media due to the holiday, but may set a new precedent for future cyber attacks, said Demi Ben Ari, co-founder and CTO of Tel Aviv-based security management company Panerais. I don't know. Kasia provides IT management tools for some 40,000 customers worldwide. The company has said that REvil managed to target only about 40 of its clients, but that some of those are managed service providers that may each work with hundreds of businesses. That means viral distribution of this thing is going to be massive, Ben Ari said. Quote, what has been reported so far is that more than 1,000 companies have been affected, including some chains like Swedish grocery retailer Coop, which was forced to close more than 800 stores. Their systems are literally all down. You see where this is going, guys? Like, don't think of it as something that's random. Think of it as connected to everything else. And hopefully by the end of this video, that'll make more sense. But think of this, the controlled collapse of the economy, society in general. This is it. They're blaming it on hackers. They're blaming it on governments, foreign players, whoever. It doesn't matter. It's all part of their cyber polygon, of course, right? This attack is significantly different from the recent SolarWinds attack, which exposed sensitive data from government offices and thousands of private companies in what was possibly the largest security breach ever, Ben-Ari said. In this attack, companies are being told to pay a large ransom, in some cases as much as $50,000 per employee at each company. If you just multiply the numbers, the magnitude is massive, he said. The U.S. government prefers companies don't give money to their attackers so not to encourage them. But many corporate ransomware victims conclude that the cost of resisting is much greater than paying. Last month, JBS, one of the largest meat producers in the U.S., paid an $11 million ransom after a similar attack knocked out operations at some of its largest facilities. The FBI blamed the attack on REvil as well. And in May, Colonial Pipeline, one of the U.S. largest gas providers, was forced to shut down gas delivery to the East Coast until it paid the hackers $4.4 million to get back online. And of course, we got this boogeyman, REvil, whatever it is. REvil is only interested in getting money, and like other Russian ransomware groups, believed to be sponsored by the Russian government, although that hasn't been proven, Ben-Ari said. Quote, it is not a coincidence that this attack was conducted on the eve of the 4th of July holiday, when many of the victims are out of the office and may not even find out about it till Tuesday. This was a super targeted operation intended to make a lot of money. They're going to keep going with this stuff. They're going to keep going with this, among other things. And don't worry, we're going to get to that. And I got something good in this video for you guys. Straight from the horse's mouth, actually. Like the horse's mouth. Like if you would walk up to the horse itself. Pretty crazy what I found. But we'll get there. I'm hoping that this recording works out on the phone, because I tried to make this on the computer. But apparently the computer's not working now, so I'm trying to go back to the phone. And you guys, if you don't see this one, well, you actually will, because I'll actually do like a little, if it gets cut, I'll do a little video explaining what happened, and then I will bring this out and show you guys. But if not, it's alright, we're just going to keep going. Kasia immediately advised customers to shut their servers temporarily to avoid being attacked and to be wary of communications from the attackers. The scope of the damage from the attack will not be clear for several more days, Ben-Ari noted. They're just playing up this narrative. They're lying. let's see what their agenda might be, because a lot of times in these articles, you can get what they're trying to. Well, how do I word this? You can see their solution in some of these articles. That's the way to put it. He said that companies can prepare themselves for such attacks by evaluating risks to their system and securing vulnerabilities using cybersecurity services like that of Panorize, and implementing a plan to get back online in case of attacks. Quote, I believe this type of attack will be a paradigm that companies of all sizes must prepare for. Smaller companies that don't invest in cybersecurity will be the easiest to breach, and then there's a risk that the attack could go viral, he said. The only solution is preparing ahead, because the question isn't whether something like this will happen, but when. So they're already saying that there's going to be some huge ransomware attack probably today or sometime. But you can't forget, in 5 days starts World Economic Forum's Cyber Polygon. Let's move on. And in addition to all of that crap that's going on, you're going to get all of this crap that's going on. Because we know they're going to continue. They have to keep continuing to divide the people. If they ever think that they're going to get their long-sought world utopia, they're going to need to keep us divided and fighting amongst ourselves. This one happens to be in my backyard. NBC, Ohio police chief out after leaving Ku Klux Klan note on black officer's coat. Quote, there's no one word to explain how disgusting this is, Sheffield Lake mayor said of the incident involving the city's longtime police chief. And this was posted up yesterday in the afternoon. Surveillance video from the Sheffield Lake Police Department in Ohio shows a longtime chief printing a note reading Ku Klux Klan and placing it on a black officer's raincoat, according to the city's mayor. Who would even do something like this? That seems like, it doesn't seem right. It just seems like it's deliberate. Sheffield Lake Mayor Dennis Brings said he was made aware of the incident, which occurred last week, by the police union. Chief Anthony Campo was immediately placed on administrative leave pending a review of the video, Bring told NBC affiliate WKYC of Cleveland. Quote, I said I don't want to even hear about it, Brings said, of course. Describing his conversation with Campo, I said, you already have admitted to it, and I said, you've got 10 minutes to get out of this office. I said, I want your keys, badge, that's it, get out. Brings said he also met with the officer following the incident to apologize for Campo's actions. Quote, took us 10 minutes to even talk to each other because we were both very emotional, he said. And I apologized to him. We talked about the situation, and he told me a little bit more. I was just flabbergasted. There's no one word to explain how disgusting this is. The footage, which was obtained by the news station, captured Campo standing at the department's copier and placing the Klan printout on the coat. KKK was a secretive society organized in the South after Civil War to assert white supremacy, often using violence. You know what they're not telling you is that the KKK was created by Freemasons. Mr. Albert Pike, who was the sovereign grand commander of Freemasonry until his death, had a huge hand in the creation of the KKK. And it was for this reason that we're seeing now. Campo told WKYC on a phone interview that he retired shortly after being placed on leave. He added that was meant to be part of an off-colored joke is being overblown. He has great respect for the officer whom he hired, according to the news station. So, they're going to keep going with this division stuff. This is going to get a lot of people arguing. It always does. Every time. And it is very easy to get caught up in this stuff. Very easy to get caught up in this stuff. But we got to keep our eyes on the prize. Okay, so Down here it says Campo spent 3 decades on the police force and became the chief 8 years ago. They have not released the name of the officer involved, just that's the end of the article there. But you're going to see a lot more of this stuff. So they got the ransomware stuff going on and the hacking stuff, right? With the whole cyber pandemic, they're saying. Then you got on one of the back burners this stuff, the race stuff. And also on the other back burner, getting ready to come to the forefront, would be the situation that is still going on after all this time. Somehow, still after all this time is going on. We're gonna have to do something, guys. We're gonna have to talk to our neighbors. We're gonna have to get people to understand. This is not a joke. I saw an article today, I should have brought it up. It said, you can't tell the story of 1776 without talking about race and slavery. That is a lie. How many times were we taught that story? The true nature of it. How many times did anybody who ever taught you about that, how many times they tell the story without race and slavery? Every single time. Every single time. That this is just getting ridiculous. It's all about making America look bad. We're bad. We're the worst thing that ever happened to the world. We're doing this, doing that. Whatever else they're saying to make the rest of the world hate us. And make us hate ourselves. And the left and the right play both sides, and it's perfect. It's perfect every time. Let's move on. All right, here we are over at our favorite, CNN. And it looks like this recording app is going all right. I don't have any wood to knock on. Does plastic count? Check out what they're saying about us now. Uncured, we'll say, people are, quote, variant factories. Infectious disease expert says. Okay, more experts telling us about how we're variant factories and... Alright, check this out. Uncured people who do more than merely risk their own health. They're also a risk to everyone if they become infected with C. I don't know what to say about that. Infectious disease specialists say. That's because the only source of new variants is the body of an infected person. Quote, uncured people are potential variant factories, Dr. William Schaffner, professor in the Division of Infectious Disease at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, told CNN Friday. Oh, yeah. Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Oh, you mean the one that's owned by Masonry, right? Oh, that's right. That is the one that's owned by Masons. So basically, if you don't take their cure, you are now a factory for the different variants. You know, the Delta variant that's so scary. It's coming to kill us all, right? Right? They're even warning about new lockdowns and mask mandates again. People don't get it. They don't get it. And we all know what it really is if people start getting sick or even dying. I don't have to say it. The more uncured people there are, the more opportunities for the virus to multiply. And that Schaffner guy said that. That's a lie. That's a lie. That is a lie. Quote, when it doesn't mutates and it could throw off a variant mutation that's even more serious down the road. Lie. All viruses mutate. While the C is not particularly mutation prone, it does change and evolve. Lie. Most of the changes mean nothing to the virus and some can weaken it, But sometimes a virus develops a random mutation that gives it an advantage. Better transmissibility, for instance, or more efficient replication, or an ability to infect a great diversity of hosts. When? Everybody I know is still alive. Viruses with an advantage will outcompete other viruses and will eventually make up the majority of virus particles infecting someone. If that infected person passes the virus to someone else, they'll be passing along the mutant version. If a mutant version is successful enough, it becomes a variant. No. Oh, and look at this related article. White House to deploy response teams focused on combating Delta variant. Remember all those papers from that Canadian journalist that leaked all that? How the premier was planning for C-21? Yeah, this is it. This is it. So we found out that that was true, even though we knew back then that it was true. Okay, but it has to replicate to do that, and uncured person provides that opportunity. Quote, as mutations come up in viruses, the ones that persist are the ones that make it easier for the virus to spread in the population. Andrew Pekos, microbiologist and immunologist at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. Oh, you mean Johns Hopkins, one of the people who put on Event 201. Oh, okay, so they're not involved in the lie at all. You know what this stuff is going to do here, this type of article? This is going to get people afraid again. Turning people in. Yelling at them for not wearing a mask. Freaking out on them for not getting cured. Which also helps with the division, which allows them to do what they need to do unchallenged. That's it. That's literally this whole thing in a nutshell. And I've said it a million times, other people have said it a million times. It's all about the New World Order. And we're going to find that out pretty soon. Excuse me. Viruses that don't spread cannot mutate. Variants have arisen all over the world. The B117 or Alpha was first seen in England. B1351 or Beta was first spotted in South Africa. Delta variant, also called B16172, was first seen in India. U.S. has thrown up several of its own variants, including B1427, or Epsilon lineage, first seen in California, and the B1526, or Eta variant, first seen in New York. Weird. Weird. Seems like these started popping up when a lot of this started going on. But, you know, that's not for us to talk about, right? And here's the related article. Rise of Delta variant brings mask question back even for the cured. This is so ridiculous. Already, one new variant has swept much of the world. Last summer, a version of the virus carrying a mutation called D614G went from Europe to the U.S., then the rest of the world. The change made it to the virus more successful, replicated better. So that version took over from the original strain that emerged from China. It appeared before people starting naming the variants, and it became the default version of the V. Okay, here's something. This also legitimizes the entire lie. All this time later, a whole year and a half, or a year and 7 months later, and we're still dealing with this, but still, nobody knows anybody who died from just this. And even if they do, and it's 1 or 2 people, or even 10 at this point in time, still not a pandemic. I said I don't even care if it gets taken down. I'm trying to watch myself a little bit, but some things I just have to say. And this is also going to help them to get more and more people cured. Okay, and this says down here, the Delta variant is even more transmissible and set to become the dominant variant in many countries, including the United States. The current cures protect well against all variants so far, but that could change at any moment. That's why doctors and public health officials want more people to get cured. Gee, that sounds like a solution. Sounds like the one they've been wanting since Bill Gates got on, Trevor Noah, and a bunch of other talk shows and whatnot last year and said 7 billion people need to take this thing. And what have we done? What have we done? Nothing. Sad, ain't it? Quote, the more we allow the virus to spread, the more opportunity the virus has to change, the World Health Organization advised last month. Cures are not widely available in many countries, but the U.S., there's plenty supply with slowing demand. Just 18 states have fully cured more than half their residents, according to data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. So they're basically just talking about the stats here and how many people they got to take this thing, which has been the agenda the whole time, right? Okay, so 1,000 counties in the United States have VE coverage of less than 30%. These communities, primarily in the Southeast, Midwest, are most vulnerable. In some areas, we're already seeing increased rates of disease, blah, blah, blah. Every time we see the virus circulating in the population, particularly a population that has pockets of immune people, VE'd people, and pockets of uncured people, you have a situation where a virus can probe. Whatever. If a virus tries to infect someone with immunity, it may fail, or succeed and cause a mild or asymptomatic infection. In that case, it will replicate in response to a pressure from a primed immune system. And then they compare it to like this. Like a bank robber whose picture's on wanted posters everywhere. The virus that succeeds will be the virus that makes random change, that makes it look less visible to the immune system. Those populations of uncured people give the virus change, not only to spread, but to change. What? That sounds wrong. Those populations of people give the virus the change, not only to spread, but to change. I feel like they should have said chance right there. And then you get this right here. Quote, all it takes is one mutation in one person, said Dr. Philip Landrigan, pediatrician and immunologist, Boston College. Okay, so that's all it takes, and then the whole world is just crazily infected and people are dropping dead everywhere, right? Yet, I could still go outside and all my neighbors are still alive. The guy down at the store is still alive. The people that run the gas station are still alive. Everybody at work is still alive. It's just crazy. Let's move on. Okay, now you guys remember this one. I should take this time to say that if this app fails, this recording app, I will have to make a part 2 because I'm already like over halfway done and I really don't want to have to delete this, start all over again. I won't do it. So if it cuts out randomly, there will be a part 2. Okay, this happened yesterday. 11 people in custody after hours-long armed standoff on I-95. This kind of stuff is also going to be happening because they have to form the narrative that you are not allowed. You are not allowed to stand against us. You will have no effect on us. We are too powerful. Basically what this is. Spread fear. Okay, Wakefield, Massachusetts. Hours-long standoff with a group of heavily armed men that partially shut down Interstate 95 ended Saturday with 11 suspects in custody, Massachusetts State Police said. Standoff shut down a portion of I-95 for much of the morning, causing major traffic problems during the 4th of July holiday weekend. Authorities said the interstate is now reopened and the shelter-in-place orders for Wakefield and Reading were lifted. The standoff began around 2 a.m. when police noticed 2 cars pulled over on I-95 with hazard lights on after they apparently ran out of fuel, authorities said at a Saturday press briefing. Look at these goons. At least some of the suspects were clad in military-style gear, long guns, and pistols, Massachusetts State Police Colonel Christopher Mason said. He added that they were headed to Maine from Rhode Island for training. Oh, and you already know how this traffic stop went. Quote, you can imagine 11 armed individuals standing with long guns slung on an interstate highway at 2 in the morning certainly raises concerns. It's not consistent with the firearms laws that we have in Massachusetts, Mason said. First of all, your firearms law shouldn't exist. What those people were doing, they didn't hurt anybody. As far as I know, they were just traveling, right, from wherever to Maine for training. Nobody got shot. What's the crime? Oh yes, that's right. This one is going to further morph people's minds into accepting their totalitarian control. And they could be like, oh look, we just had an hours-long standoff with people on the side of the highway. There was no standoff until they brought it with them. These guys would have went, they would have did their training, and guess what? They probably would have went right home. In a video posted to social media Saturday morning, a man who did not give his name but said he was from a group called Rise of the Moors broadcast from Interstate 95 in Wakefield near Exit 57. Quote, we are not anti-government. We are not anti-police. We are not sovereign citizens. We are not black identity extremists, said the man who appeared to be wearing military-style equipment. As specified multiple times to the police that we are abiding by the peaceful journey laws of the United States. Oh yes, so they are abiding by actual U.S. laws, not fiat and faux laws. They're abiding by our actual laws. The website for the group says they are Moorish Americans dedicated to educating new Moors and influencing our elders. Mason said he understood the suspects, who did not have firearms licenses, have a different perspective on the law. First of all, the Second Amendment is very clear. Shall not be infringed. A license to own a firearm. Come on. I ain't got no license to own no firearm. And guess what? I own firearms. Don't need a license. Free men don't ask permission. Quote, I appreciate that perspective, he said. I disagree with that perspective, but at the end of the day, I recognize that it's there. Now, he's being patronizing toward these men. Mason said he had no knowledge of the group, but it was not unusual for the state police to encounter people who have, quote, sovereign citizen ideology, although he did not know if the people involved in the Wakefield standoff was part of that. The men refused to put down their weapons or comply with authorities' orders, claiming to be from a group that does not recognize our laws before taking off into a wooded area, police said. So far, it just sounds like Americans exercising their rights. To me. To other people, I'm sure that these guys are, terrorists, and why did you have all that? You don't need that. That's what people say, right? You don't need that stuff. Why do you need that stuff? You're a criminal. You're a terrorist. Mason said the suspects surrendered after police tactical teams used armored vehicles to tighten the perimeter around them. Police initially reported 9 suspects were taken into custody. 2 more were taken into custody in their vehicle later Saturday morning. 2 suspects were hospitalized, but the police said it was for pre-existing conditions that had nothing to do with the standoff. Police and prosecutors are working to determine what charges the members of the group will face, and they're expected to appear in court. Okay, wait, so they're working to determine what charges the members of the group will face? Excuse me. It doesn't seem like there should be any charges. Honestly, think about it. Nobody got hurt. all they did was run down into the woods. You might be able to charge them for, I don't know, fleeing from a traffic stop, which is just a minor infraction. And I guess they can go on with their firearms laws, which is illegal in the first place, but that's beside the point. Do you see how this is going to shape the narrative? This is going to shape the narrative of the people, of course. Because no longer is it just, oh, it's the white nationalist extremist. Oh, no. It's also these people, they try to say that, the police initially tried saying they were in the, what was that called? Black identity extremists or something. So yeah, people need to understand that it's not exclusive to any one group of people at all. It's for all Americans. And we are on a journey straight to hell at this point in time. Very sad indeed. Indeed, it's very sad. All right, let's move on. Okay, I wanted to bring this one up a couple videos ago, but I did not. And this definitely should be talked about because this could most definitely coincide with the power outages. They could blame it on this. And they're ramping up a lot of this. And we already know the truth about all this. We know that Area 51 and about Majesty 12, we know that it was military technology the whole time. A lot of people still like to believe that this is, real. That aliens are real. And they don't understand the true nature of the earth. So they will fall for this. Okay, most of us are aware of Project Bluebeam and the purpose behind it. Faking a worldwide false flag event using sophisticated hologram technology to trick people into believing some kind of attack on humanity by aliens/Lucifer. Well, recent secret CIA plans have confirmed that's a very real prospect for the U.S. government. Oh, gee. U.S. Secret Service has considered using the widespread fear of War of the Worlds type alien invasion as a sinister psychological warfare tactic. It has recently emerged. Details of the shocking plan are buried. Once top secret Central Intelligence Service UFO files, which are now published in the agency's website, proving the elite have some incredibly sneaky plans up their sleeves. The potential weapon was discussed in a memo from Marshall Chadwell, Assistant Director of Scientific Intelligence, to General Walter Bedell Smith, CIA Director of Central Intelligence, which was sent October 1952, when the CIA was deeply involved in investigating the UFO and flying saucer phenomena following an explosion in sightings. Yes, and every time, somebody would have a sighting and they'd run down to it, the military was just there all the time. How'd they get there so quick? How'd they know where it was? Exactly. The memo was sent at the height of the Cold War and considered of the number of UFO sightings could have been predicted or controlled or more sinisterly even used from a psychological warfare point of view, either offensively or defensively. It said studies showed public concern, not just in the U.S. but wider, with the phenomena was so strong that many people may be preconditioned, to accept the incredible as being true. A clear way to manipulate and control the masses. The memo added the news of potential alien activity had the potential to spark mass hysteria and panic. Since 1947, the Air Technical Intelligence Center had received 1,500 official sighting reports plus more from the public and press. In July 1952, there were 250 reports, and all the sightings, 20%, remained unexplainable. And here are the details of the secret memo, if you guys want to check that out. I'll try to remember to add links. I always forget, guys. I'm really sorry. Somebody remind me in the comments, please, if you look in the description and then there's no links. I always forget. I say I'm going to, and I literally just forget. It's not like I say I'm going to, and then I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. Why would I do that to you guys? So please remind me if you go into the description at this point in time during this video They should be there. If not, please, please, please remind me in the comments and I will add every single link in this video. Okay, with so many sightings happening, there was danger of false alarms for real military invasions from the Soviet Union, or worse, still real attacks being misinterpreted as phantom UFOs, the secret now public memo said. The report added, immediate steps should be taken to improve identification of both visual and electronic phantoms so that in the event of an attack, instant and positive identification of enemy planes or missiles can be made. Studies showed to be instituted to determine what, if any, utilization could be made of these phenomena by United States psychological warfare planners. Well, gee. Mr. Chadwell, thank you. The paranoia of the Cold War was evident in the memo, which spoke of fears of a Soviet plot to use fear of UFOs against the U.S. public. The memo added it would need to establish what, if any, defenses should be planned in anticipation of Soviet plans to utilize them. Mr. Chadwell continued, other intelligence problems which require determination are possible Soviet intentions and capabilities to utilize these phenomena to detriment of the United States security interests. The memo also asked for a probe into how much the Soviet Union knew about UFOs and the reason behind why there was never any mention of aliens or flying saucers in Russian media, confirming a very real interest of our ET friends. Mr. Chadwell signed off his memo adding, quote, I consider this problem to be of such importance that it should be brought to the attention of the National Security Council in order that a community-wide coordinated effort toward its solution may be initiated. Oh gee, that sounds like problem, reaction, solution right there. It's not clear from the releases what further work was done in these areas, but there are not thought to be any cases on record of either the U.S. or Soviet Union using UFO fears in any form of attack, defense, or psychological warfare. However, the disclosure will likely fuel ongoing conspiracy theories which claim the U.S. military intelligence services maintain a strong interest in the phenomena. Yes, they're coming out with their disclosure, right? They have however many days left. Okay. They're already saying that, we're going to read next about how the head of NASA believes in aliens and how the UFO videos were real. And they're saying that the Navy has been watching these UFOs for a long time. And the whole plan, the whole time, when Majestic 12, same thing, was concocted, you could say. The plan was, it's like double reverse psychology. They were making people think that the government was just hiding the existence of, quote, aliens from outer space, when the truth is that it was military technology the entire time. And so later on, now, where we are, people could say, oh, the government was hiding them, that's how we know it's real. No, they knew that you would know that they knew that you would take that perspective. They knew that people would believe that the government's hiding aliens and all this stuff. Alright, one such theory is that the U.S. was planning to initiate a false flag incident using hologram technology to stage a fake alien invasion as a way of introducing martial law or other controls on the public. Many of us know this as Project Bluebeam. There are also conspiracies surrounding the government's high-frequency active auroral research program, which was HARP. It was a U.S. military scientific project which has spawned even more conspiracies than the Large Hadron Collider. It was established by the U.S. Air Force to study the Earth's ionosphere, a highly charged and active part of the upper atmosphere. But many researchers and truth seekers always claimed it was a cover for secretive tests to control the weather or even research captured UFO technology or create false flag hologram like Project Bluebeam. And of course, the Air Force ended the project in 2014, but some claim it continues. It does. And with sightings like the below, many believe the Project Bluebeam may have notched up a level. And that video got taken down, as you can see. I already tried to watch it. UFO researchers maintain a strong interest in the mysterious top-secret Area 51 military base in Nevada desert, where it's claimed all evidence of alien visitation of Earth is kept, and engineers use recovered alien technology to boost their own. CIA, interestingly, has previously said it no longer has an interest in the UFO phenomena. No real national security threat was ever identified. Many believe that there's some kind of distraction to steer away any interest or research on what is really going on by the elite. UIP summary. Well, the expression, the cat let out of the bag, comes to mind. CIA releasing this information onto the public domain proves their true interest and desire to create some kind of Project Bluebeam scenario. This doesn't even seem that over the top, as false flag events appear to be happening weekly now, with what elite-driven media pushing lies and deceit onto the public on a daily basis. So the fact this proves that the elite U.S. government has officially considered and planned some kind of fake alien invasion should come as no surprise, after all. It's clear the elite do not want us to become friends or allies with whatever beings that are visiting our planet. There are no beings. They're interdimensional and they're demonic. Has nothing to do with outer space, because that is a lie. Keep your minds open, people. It's a scary, manipulative world out there, but no matter what, the harder we dig, the clearer our minds will become. And that's the end of this one. Now, let me show you one more thing before I really want to get into what I wanted to read. All right. Sorry, guys. There's a guy cutting grass right over here. Cutting the football field, even though they have AstroTurf. Not in this part, though, where people park. But either way, hopefully it doesn't interrupt us here. This is the kind of thing that they do to keep this stuff going. The head of NASA says he believes in aliens. Oh, yes, the head of NASA. They have never lied, right? NASA, they tell us about space, right? If anyone would know, not alone. Bill Nelson, the recently appointed head of NASA, believes that there's extraterrestrial life lurking somewhere in the cosmos. Are we alone? Personally, I don't think we are, Nelson told CNN in a video interview on Sunday. This stuff, I'm not even going to read this whole thing because I want to get to something else and we're running out of time. I got to start getting ready. But I brought this up to show that this is the narrative. This is what they're going to do. They're already talking about their disclosure, the UFO videos, all that garbage. This is how they're going to get it going. Combine that with the cyber polygon, they could blame the power outages on aliens. And then they could, well, unite us as a common goal, a common enemy against these aliens, like Ronald Reagan used to say. I really just wanted to bring that one up for just to show the narrative. But what we're going on to next is from the horse's mouth. All right, are you guys ready for this one? This is RockefellerFoundation.org. You can see right up there, RockefellerFoundation.org. Rebuilding toward the Great Reset, crisis, situation, and sustainable development goals. All right. Oh, you guys wait till you see what they're straight up admitting in this article. This is from the Rockefeller Foundation, by the way. This ain't Time Magazine. This ain't The Blaze. It isn't CNN. It's not any of this. This is the Rockefeller Foundation. The horse itself. The year 2020 will forever be associated with the crises. First came the C-19 situation, a joint public health and economic emergency that spread around the world with unprecedented speed and scope. Next came a crisis of international cooperation as countries struggled to coordinate their efforts in tackling a common viral foe. Then came a compounding social crisis anchored in the United States but reverberating around the world, focused on issues of systematic racism and police brutality. Huge numbers of people have taken to the streets in calls for justice despite the situation's persistent risks. Okay, so far, this reminds me, and especially coming from the Rockefeller Foundation, remember when David Rockefeller said all we need is the right major crisis and the nations will accept the New World Order? That's where we are. We do not know what other crises might still arise during the rest of 2020. This was written around October of 2020. But where do you see this? Nor the consequences they might bring. If problems beget more problems, one staggers to think how much worse things could get. As of early June, the C-19 alone has generated extraordinarily near-term costs. Hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives. Tens, if not hundreds of millions of people have been losing their jobs. More than 1 billion children have been shut out of schools. Trillions of dollars of economic activity have disappeared. Oh, yeah. That's about right. Check this out. If we describe the current situation as a moment of multi-dimensional crises, then one of its toughest challenges lies in the uncertainty around how long the moment will last. But whatever further political tensions arise, the underpinning questions about the situation remain fundamental. Will cascading waves of infection generate rolling shutdowns of schools, shops, and much of society? Will a cure be discovered and delivered to billions of people in a short order, or might new treatment options provide blah, 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 blah? Will today's international institutions emerge renewed, worn down, or perhaps even broken from the cumulative strain? Oh, we're getting there. We're getting to where they state their mission goals. Amid these heated concerns, there are reasons for hope too. Upheaval can yield new understanding and opportunity. Outdated or unjust norms can succumb to society's pressing need for better approaches. For example, the need for massive and urgent government intervention has drawn fresh attention to social safety nets and the possibility of dramatic policy enhancements. Tragic consequences of racial discrimination have catapulted awareness of systematic problems and triggered prospects for much-needed social reforms. Rapid environmental improvements linked to economic shutdown have rekindled consciousness of the profound interconnections between ecosystems, economies, and societies. Oh yes. Oh yes. All of this has prompted fresh calls for a broad-minded approach to the integrated challenges of policymaking. For their part, many policymakers have long been accustomed to incremental processes and solutions that push gradually against the boundaries of popular and political will. As in, what they're saying is, for a long time, they took our freedom in incremental, like Hitler used to say, incrementalism. Slowly but surely. Slow but sure. 100%. Today, many of these same people find themselves scrambling to manage rapid and radical shifts toward uncharted territory in terms of both what's possible and what's expected. Here we go. The world needs to make the most of the moment at hand. To chart the path through the complex uncertainty, we suggest 3 distinct forms of action: response, recovery, and reset. Here it comes. Ready for this? Response in the near term, where the main objective is to protect lives and livelihoods, especially among people who are most vulnerable. Under this category, there is widespread alignment around the core goals, even as strategies are debated. Okay, done. Medium term, where the main objective is to restart and rebuild economic and social activity in a manner that protects public health, promotes societal healing, and preserves the environment. Here, there might naturally be more debates around desired outcomes and greater complexity defining solutions. Now, here we are at the main event. Reset systems for the long term, where the objective is to establish, wherever possible, a new equilibrium among political, economic, social, and environmental systems toward common goals. New World Order. Common goals. Communism. World communism. Ultimately, the only limit within this category is our collective imagination. As we emerge from a moment of great crisis, we can imagine a great reset. Literally right here. New equilibrium among political, economic, social, and environmental systems toward common goals. It doesn't get more plain than that. Really, it doesn't. It doesn't get more plain than that. They might as well have just put on the front page, New World Order, one world government, no freedom, nothing. And we already know whenever they say protect the environment, that means get your ass off the land and into cities. Oh, I'm starting to get worked up. I'm starting to get pissed off. In practice, these action horizons overlap, but the key point is to distinguish between the different functions and mindsets needed for the respective challenges at hand. Yeah, as in, distinguish between the different functions and mindsets needed, as in they will have to change your mindset. It remains to be seen whether the next couple of years will unfold in a manner that makes it either easier or harder to achieve progress on the world's economic, social, and environmental challenges. So rather than passively allowing norms to evolve through inertia or randomness, we can all pursue actions in response, and soon enough, recovery in a manner that improve the odds of reset toward better long-term outcomes. So what they're saying is, instead of just letting it go as is, which, in turn it will just be regular, because we would just get back to what we were doing. No. They say, rather than passively allowing norms to evolve through inertia or randomness, we can all pursue actions for response and soon enough recovery in a manner that improve the odds of a reset toward better long-term outcomes. As in, instead of sitting by, they can capitalize off of this and pursue their actions for their agenda. The Sustainable Development Goals, still an integrating framework. All right. Fortunately, we already have a strong starting point for what the world's economic, social, environmental outcomes should be. According to who? According to who? Acting like that, good thing. We already had this strong starting point for what everything should be. Yeah. Almost as if it was planned in advance. 5 years ago, in 2015, all 193 UN member states agreed on the Sustainable Development Goals as a common set of priorities to be achieved in all countries by 2030. Oh, and right after this, by the way, in 2016 is when Klaus Schwab started going around talking about the Great Reset. Guided by an underlying spirit of no one left behind, the goals have gained increasing traction since 2015 as a shared reference point of ambition. A widening array of governments, communities, universities, businesses, civil society organizations, and private philanthropies have all leveraged the lingua franca of the goals to pursue a common agenda for progress. Or world communism. Hello? Despite the common vision, the ambition of the SDGs has not yet been paired with action to match. Many SDG advocates have planned for 2020 to be an opportunity to remind the world of its commitments for the coming decade. Oh yeah? And then it says the situation upended everyone's calendar. Most organizations and governments and organizations are now struggling to make plans on a 10-month or 10-week horizon, let alone 10 years. First of all, this whole paragraph just, despite the common vision, the ambition of SDGs has not yet been paired with action to match. Many plan for 2020 to be an opportunity to remind the world of its commitments for the coming decade. I'm pretty sure that the situation allowed them to do that, right? And they're acting like it upended everyone's calendar. Like, no, they said 2020 was going to be the opportunity to remind the world of its commitments for the coming decade. And so what they do, they sat down to Event 201. They planned out this whole thing. Boom, done deal. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to understand what is going on. My nephew is 2.5. I guarantee I can explain to him the affairs of the world, and he would probably understand better than half of these adults running around here today. Honestly. People in my town just last night, they were all drinking, running up and down the road, throwing their damn beer cans, getting all wild, shooting off fireworks at each other, just being complete and utter morons. Morons. talking about, yeah, 4th of July freedom. Oh, yeah, fireworks, beer. You literally are exactly where they want you to be. Thinking that we have even some semblance of freedom in this country, which has not been prevalent for years. And they want you to, on the 4th of July, one day a year, maybe two, they want you to celebrate the freedom that we have, right, guys? Celebrate the freedom that we gave you. No. As I've said before, and I'll say again, fireworks should not have gone on this year. What are we celebrating? Are we celebrating the collapse of our society? Are we celebrating Great Reset? Agenda 21? Or are we celebrating... I don't get it. I don't get it this year. I don't. I'm taking this time to reflect on what freedom actually means to me and what I would do to preserve my own individual freedom and the people around me. I'm not going out and shooting fireworks and saying thank you for my freedom. The only person I have to thank for my freedom is God through my parents. That's it. You're born with it. No man can ever give it to you, but they can take it away. That's a fact. Freedom is the only thing that is not given to you but can be taken away. Freedom is at birth. At birth. You're born free, and only through, well, your first contract is when your parents set down your fingerprints and toe prints and all that and sign your birth certificate. That is your social contract. You are now property of the U.S. government, along with your own number and everything. Cool, huh? And people are out here wearing flag clothes, like women are wearing flag bras. I seen somebody that had American flag overalls, and they don't understand. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to put it on plates. You're not supposed to wear it on your body. You're not supposed to do any of that. It goes against flag code. These same people talk about the flag and how much they respect the flag, but they wear it as they're shitting themselves after being drunk the entire night. Piss and shit all over themselves. And they wake up in the morning and they're like, yeah, freedom, guys. No, what you just did was against flag code. You disrespected the flag along with any discolorations, any change in meaning. Even if you nick your flag, you have to retire it the proper way. By folding it and setting all four corners on fire. Let's continue. The constraints need not define us. The incredible energy being mobilized across all sectors to address today's concurrent crises creates the opportunity for bold solutions that help break from the past and open new possibilities. Gee, you mean like the one you've always wanted? By thinking across multiple time horizons for action, it's possible to rebuild from the crises in a way that not only makes us more resilient to future shockwaves, but also helps the global community reset toward better footing for future sustainable development goals success. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? They're openly telling you that they're building a new world order. I'm not yelling at you guys, my regular listeners, but anybody new on here, pull your head out of your ass. Now. Talk to your family. Talk to your brother or your sister. Talk to your boss. Anybody. Get them to understand what is going on here. And there's no room for people to be like, oh, that's a conspiracy. Shut up. You think I'd do this for entertainment? You think I'd do this for anything other than to help wake people up to our current situation so that we can have a good fucking life. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. I shouldn't have said that. I usually don't cuss in my videos. I just get so worked up about this stuff because I care about freedom so much. I care about freedom not only for myself and my wife and my family. No, I care about your children's freedom, your grandchildren who are not yet born, their freedom, their grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I care about their freedom. We got people running around today that want to take freedom away from each other. Every single time in society where that has been done, and every group wants to take freedom away from the other group, the government always comes in and establishes their dictatorships. And today it's no different, except it's on a world scale. And the world is now more interconnected and prepared to march toward world government. That's exactly what we're doing. We have done it. It's already a done deal. Okay, 17 rooms from rebuild to reset. In that spirit, we and our colleagues at the Brookings Institution and the Rockefeller Foundation have decided to continue convening the 17 Rooms Initiatives 2020 with a focus on rebuild and reset. Okay, and it just talks about 2018-2019, 17 Rooms flagship meeting held in person in New York City, blah, 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 blah. We're encouraging each room, small working group to consider the integrated challenges of rebuild and reset on 2021 action horizon. In practical terms, we're asking each room to answer the following. In light of recent crises linked to C-19, systematic racism, and other urgent challenges, what are 1 to 3, there's your 13, actionable priorities over the coming 12 to 18 months by the end of 2021 that address near-term ends while also making a decisive contribution to protecting our advancing your goals 2030 results? What actions can members of your room take to advance these priorities? So now they got all these little weird rooms and all these little groups and stuff that are going to help them in all angles to build this society. We're delighted that a remarkable cross-section of leaders from civil society, academia, business, and philanthropy are helping to lead the effort amid these challenging times. Each room will convene its own conversations over the coming months, culminating in a virtual conference in September. By October, we plan to publish a short document from each room, plus a brief, overarching report focused on the integrated themes of rebuild and reset. As the world eventually shifts its focus from the traumas of 2020 to the needed actions of 2021, we aim for these documents to help inform pathways back to SDG action. Emerging from this moment of crisis, the final products will not amount to any kind of comprehensive roadmap. Instead, we simply hope to provide some helpful steps with which to start. They're openly talking about a new world order in your face. In your face, they are saying, we're building this world government and you ain't going to do shit about it. Do you see why I get so mad? This one was written last June. Sorry, I said October. I thought it was October. It was June. Sorry. Anyway. Do you see how this is working flawlessly? And we got people running around acting like buffoons with their false patriotism, believing that we're free this 4th of July. No, we are not. This is the least free that we've ever been. 4th of July should not have been celebrated. It should have been, well, what we should have done today was reflect, remember, and realize what we have to do to keep our freedom and how important that is. But you know what? Nobody even talks about that anymore. Do you even remember when the last time somebody has said, hey, it's a free country, do whatever you want? I used to hear it all the time when I was a kid. Not no more. Nope. Not no more. Everybody knows that we have lost freedom, but as soon as you start talking about this stuff here, they're like, no, that's not why. That's not why. Or they just blindly follow whatever agenda that they're being told this week. Whatever the TV tells them. That's what they do. Anyway, I'll save it for next time. I got a bunch more articles up there. You can see I got 30. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I can bring up for the next video. But for now, we'll leave it at this. I hope you all have a as free as you can be, 4th of July. And I know I said I was going to get around to scheduling a live stream. I'm still going to do that. I've been doing a lot of stuff. A lot's been going on just in general with work stuff and whatnot. We started having to work Saturdays. So I'm going to have to figure out when would be a good day to actually sit down and take 2 hours out of my day to get on there and speak with all you guys, because I really want to do a live stream again. I'm very excited for it. But I will go ahead and end this one here. Last note. July 9th starts Cyber Polygon, right? They're already leading us up to it. They're probably going to pull it this year. Think about it. It's the perfect time to pull something like this. They already have the public's mind primed and ready to accept the boogeyman narrative. That it was Russia, our evil, or whatever. Or they could say China, Iran, North Korea. It doesn't matter. But who it really is, well, we already know these people here that wrote up this stuff, right? I've heard reports of the internet going down on July 9th. Google warned people. I don't know if that's true. I looked some stuff up, and the recent one that I could find was from 2012, which I thought was weird, that on July 9th in 2012, they shut the internet down. But I haven't seen anything this year as of yet. It wouldn't surprise me, though. I'm sure there are going to be outages on that day or even later, because, well, that's literally where we are. And they're going to do it. And you know what? They're going to pull it, and we're just going to have to respond. We knew this was coming. We knew all of this was coming. So we had that advantage. Let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever and ever. Amen. Time's ticking, guys. Clock's ticking. And we're just going to need to just keep on this stuff. I'll have another video made for you guys probably within the next 2 days. I'm going to start putting out some more. So, that being said, God bless you all.